Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Block, where we are writers helping writers. And I have a couple of things to cover today. It's going to be short and sweet today since I am the only one here, and by all means, I am no expert. So, we will be helping each other out here in the chat, giving each other some pointers on a couple of the topics that we're going to cover today. Now, every Sunday, we do this with Breaking the Block. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern. I am going to try to keep it at 11 a.m. Eastern, even with the time change, so that I don't have to change any of my banners because apparently I changed them when it's already too late. Anyway. All right, so we have a cat paw. It's not showing your first comments, but I did see it on the YouTube side. Had no internet all day yesterday, but it's back. Yay! I'm glad it is. And I got a surprising amount done yesterday as I'd cleared the housework the day before. Nice. Maybe you just needed that day without, connection, I guess. Hey, Dawn. Morning. Hey, Mel. Good morning. All right. So let's get right into it, shall we? So we are going to hit on this one instead of the genre bending one because I really want Rach and Maggie to be in on the genre bending question. So for this one, on updates and best practices, how do you fit these changes into your research time, or do you plug and play and go from there? So what this is talking about is all of the updates on the platforms that authors might be on, like here on YouTube or Twitch, and also Substack. And there's also the whole learning new things like switching over to a new newsletter system or building your author website. So how do you find time to research the changes, see if you need to switch to something else, and then research that new something? I don't know. I am of the latter on this. I plug and play and go from there. If there is a video that pops up, because I am in love with video tutorials now, then I will definitely watch them if they're not like an hour long, unless it's something that I really, really know that I need to learn the ins and outs, period. Something like BookFunnel, I spent hours researching and I still don't know how to use it very well. But things like YouTube, the updates and everything there, sorry if y'all heard that. I will get out of that. So if you hear a ding or something like that, that is a notification from Facebook for me because I participated in a giveaway this weekend and I am trying to get my ducks in a row on getting my books out to the winners and seeing if I won anything. But anyway, as far as YouTube goes, they are updating regularly, and Substack is adding a few things, not necessarily as regularly as YouTube, because YouTube has got a monster of a team and they're able to roll things out fairly quickly. But I try to skim their little update emails to see if anything that they updated or added in new really affects me. If I think it doesn't, then, I kind of go on. But things like Substack, which I'm using as a newsletter, I feel every update that they do, I need to be in on. The only thing with that is I haven't participated in notes on Substack because I don't really have that big of a following over there anyway. No time, listen right writing. Right? My only problem with that is if I'm having one of those days where I can't concentrate, then I I write what I'm hearing. And yeah, that doesn't really fit in the fantasy world. Hey, Eva, good morning. Researching is a part of life. I find time for it just the same as every other area of life. Exactly. Which cleaning products to use, which books to read, which toys to buy, which events to attend, which foods to buy, etc. With writing and publishing and content creation, it seems to go hand in hand with my YouTube consumption, to be honest. Yeah. So I've noticed that a lot of like our AuthorTube community here and the creative community at large, whenever something changes that tends to affect all of us, like the YouTube algorithm or something like that, there's usually one of us in the community that kind of goes over it in one of their videos. And I find that really, really helpful. And they're usually short and sweet because they know that we need to get back to writing. Hey, Sky, good morning. But yeah, why did I take that away? There we go. So here's the question again. As far as different parts of life goes, I have a tendency to, just rely on tried and true. And if new things pop up, like my husband turning diabetic, now this happened a few years ago, and I knew some of what to do because my mom was a diabetic and my sister is a diabetic. So I kind of live a little bit with it. But I did research new ways, new things to cook with and what would affect his body and his sugar levels versus what might have affected mom's. Most of it is the same, carbs and sugars, period. But different bodies have different chemical balances and they do react a little bit differently to the chemicals in the food that we consume. So yeah, everything with that, all that research and everything was a lot of reading. It's a lot of grabbing the recipe books that I did have and looking at the sugar-free options that they might have had on the side or in a certain section of that cookbook. So that was a lot of research, but also a lot of plug and play because we had to try to see what would affect him and what I could eat too. There are a lot of things that he does that I can't do because of our different body chemistries. So there are some sugar additives out there that have an adverse effect on me, but he's fine with. Most of them are in drinks. So he has his own section of drinks and I have my own. So with that, as far as publishing practices, being here on social media platforms and stuff like that, things work differently for everyone. What works for Sky probably doesn't work for me, aka the vlogs. I will try though. Again, what works for Mel and Eva doesn't really necessarily work for me, or maybe a version of it works for me, a part of it works for me, but what I do probably doesn't work for y'all either. It probably doesn't work for me. But I still keep going. So yeah, plug and play is a very good option, and I feel like it is a good way to experience different things and gain the knowledge that will help you grow and you be comfortable in your author or creative life. Sky says, I tend to save research for days when the writing won't come. That's a good point too. For whatever reason, when I'm stuck, that's the best time to research various things. What I research varies depending on mood and need. Right. So whenever I take my breaks, like my lunch break, I tend to watch YouTube videos on something that I want to research or I want to learn, or tips and tricks or something like that too. So your breaks, or whenever you have a little bit of a stumpage, then you can do that, like Sky says. Short and sweet is definitely a blessing. Yes, it is. Sky says, I'm a mix of plug and play and researching specific needs to see if what I'm using will do what I want. Yep. Cat Paw says, after yesterday, I have a list of things to check and double check. That was one thing I couldn't do, fall down any rabbit holes. Exactly. So, therein again, whenever you are going to try something new or research on something new, in order to put it into practice, do you research what happens afterward? I mean, you would have to, right? So how do you measure what kind of change that update brings to you? Is it the percentage of new followers? Is it the percentage of new sales if you are a published author? Is it just going with the flow and seeing if it feels good for you? Me, it's a combination of all of those. Because I'm an Aquarius, I have to have everything. No. Let's see. Sky says, for example, when I was researching newsletters, I wanted sign up automation. I wanted it so that when people signed up, they'd get 2 or 3 emails automatically telling them specific information. Right. Me and newsletters don't get along. Sky says, and I researched that specific detail for various different newsletter programs, testing them out myself to see if it worked the way I like. Now, if something doesn't have a free trial period, do you just not use it and go to something else, or what? Yes. Randomly try things. Not necessarily randomly, just kind of do it as a plan. So like this whole 90-day YouTube challenge that I'm going to start in October, that is kind of a plug and play to me, because while I'm using the idea from the 90-day challenge and doing the research that she suggested, ooh, I can talk. I need more coffee. And things that are in that video, I'm also using things that I wanted to do with this channel. So the whole vlog thing, I know I wanted to try to do that, and I haven't had the chance to do that. So I'm going to kind of plug that in with the whole 90-day challenge and the way I foresee this channel going in the future, if that makes any sense. If something doesn't work out for me, then I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to yank it out and put something else in, whether it's from one of her ideas in the 90 challenge video. Goodness gracious, y'all. Or if it's something else that I wanted to try. So yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. That's what I took it to mean. Now I'm questioning that. No. You're good. I try all things before committing to them, but I don't just try things without researching them. So I don't know if I plug and play or not. Yeah. Plug and play to me is you have done research, but you have so many options that you just take a couple and put them in, see if they work. If they don't, then you take them out and choose the other few that you didn't use. Because there's just so much coming at us and so many new things popping up all the time that you probably are never going to run out of things that you can try. I mean, at least I hope not, because that means that you have learned everything, right? Cat Paul says, I research enough to write ahead and check after. Often research works as inspiration for me. Right. And in writing, so if I'm stuck, like if I wrote my characters into a corner because I'm not a plotter at all. I pants everything. That's when I might go into actual outlining. And I see 3 different paths to get out of that corner. And that's when I plug that first path in, see if that works. If it doesn't, take it out. Try the second one. If that doesn't work, take it out. Try the third one. If that doesn't work, well, then we'll go from there. Sky says, when StreamYard doubled their cost, I signed up for 3 other streaming services and tested them out to see how I liked them and went from there. Yeah. I did a couple of videos on that as well. And yeah, now I'm using Restream instead of Streamlabs. Sky says, I only use free things at the moment. If something wasn't free, I skipped it. Yeah. Dawn says, it's more of a rage question because I'm definitely in the shadows for this and just come out when she pulls me kicking and screaming. It's okay. Mel says, I think I take things in a scientific approach. I do quick research to see how others do it, experiment myself, then see how the results are and tweak as needed, going back to more research. And this is the reason why they probably teach us the scientific method, because we can use it all of our lives. Create a hypothesis, test it out. If something doesn't work, say why, and then do it all over again with something new. He says, I started creating content around writing after watching and researching for 5 years. Yeah. But I published a book from idea to done in 2 weeks before, so I don't know, a bit of both maybe. Yeah. 90-day YouTube challenge. What's this? Another challenge? I'm down for that. Yep. I will get you the link. I knew I was going to talk about it, so I don't know why I didn't have the link pulled up. Yes, I do know why, because I was focusing on creating links to the winners for my ebooks. That's the reason why I didn't have anything pulled up and ready for today. So yeah. Let's see how far back I have to scroll in my history in order to find it. Oh, by the way, while I'm doing this, Rita is interviewing me at 1:30 Eastern. So I will also drop the link to that eventually. I need to stop scrolling on my main YouTube of a night, because apparently that just, fills up my history completely. Because of a night I watch those videos where, like the Dr. Pimple Popper videos, and then the things about the Enneagram personalities. So I need to go to my other channel whenever I do that. Okay, so here is the 90-day challenge, and it's for YouTube growth. And there you go. Or YouTube reset, as she puts it. So I'm going to start it in October. I'm already doing like the research phase. So I'm going to start implementing what I've researched in October. Kind of started doing it this month a little bit with trying to post shorts every day. Dawn says, no, research for our writing. Yes, we all have to research for our writing, don't we? Sky says, I still need to film that video talking about how to set up restream streams so I don't have to update colors every time. It's on my list. Yes. I think I might have figured it out because you duplicate your streams. Right. My only qualm with Restream, and I probably need to research this as well, is it like takes forever to schedule the video. And I don't know if it's my internet, which is the reason why I need to research this. I don't know if it's my internet as to why it takes forever to research or schedule the video, because I have to refresh it like 3 times before it schedules it. And then I have to, during those 3 times, reschedule the whole thing, redo the whole thing. So yeah, even when I copy the stream, it's weird. Dawn says, funny enough, I have a YouTube channel, just have done nothing with it yet. Maybe one day. Yes. Welcome to the dark side. Well, further into the dark side, I should say. I love Dr. Pimple Popper, yes. And Court TV, yeah. So there is a couple that I can't watch. So anything to do around the eyes, I can't do. And apparently my husband watches Hoof GPT. I don't know. He's a bovine hoof doctor, I guess you could say, over in, I think it's Ireland, maybe Scotland. I can't remember. But there are some of those videos that I just can't do. And I don't know why. Because it's hooves. I don't have hooves. But I don't know. I feel more pain for animals, I guess. Oh my goodness. Sky says, I'm not doing any 90-day challenges in the last quarter. Understandable, since I have 2 weeks where I'm out of state, but I'll be everyone's cheerleader. Thank you. I don't duplicate it per se. Similar, but not quite. Okay. No, I definitely have to watch your video. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will get that. Thank you for reminding me. Because y'all know how my brain is. It's all over the place. Okay, so she's got 2 interviews today. So I want to give you a link to both of them. This one is mine. And then we've got Adeshale, I think. Yes, Adeshale. So make sure to watch both of them, okay? There we go. All right. So there's my link for the interview, and there is the next one. I love the farrier videos. Yeah. So I used to, y'all know, I used to work at a horse ranch. We had a farrier and everything. I had a horse growing up, sort of, in high school. So I worked with a lot of farriers. I've seen things. I've had the doctor hooves and stuff like that. It didn't bother me as much as watching the Hoof GP videos. I don't know why. I guess because I was like physically there and I could help. But just watching some of his, like, when he really digs down into the hoof, I can't do that. I can't. Mel's right there with me. Dawn's got to run. My little grand monsters are here. Catch y'all later. Have fun. Have so much fun. Hug them. Feed them sugar. And then send them on their way home. So they can be hyper with the parents. Right? Right. All right. So, do y'all have any questions in the chat? I feel kind of weird being up here by myself, in all honesty, because I am not an expert. But this right here, so when I first started this channel, like Eva, I had spent years, 2 or 3 years, in the AuthorTube sphere, even before it kind of became AuthorTube, watching people do live streams and participating in live streams, not up on screen, just in the chat. And just watching everybody and learning from them by watching was enough to get me started. So, if there is some huge project that you are starting and you are scared, you have a little bit of fear about it, then find somebody who is doing the same thing or near to the same thing. And maybe you can, if they have a channel, you can watch them do that and get a little bit more comfortable, knowing that if they can do it, you can do it too. Or if you know somebody who's doing the same thing, then buddy up with them. Message them. See if they will become your partner in crime kind of thing. All right, so yeah, I think the genre bending one we will save for later. The social media presence is a lot like research. So this is time management. The research and doing the updates and everything like that is time management. And honestly, people can teach you time management. They can teach you the skills that you need. They can show you what works for them. But if you have some mental spice or emotional spice, and by that I mean like anxiety, ADHD, other things that impact focus and ability to do things for a certain period of time, then that is when you have to do plug and play. That is when you have to take their ideas and their way of doing things and try it. See what works for you. So me, I can't be like 6 o'clock in the morning, I am going to get up. 6:30 in the morning, I am going to have finished my coffee and finished my breakfast. 7 o'clock in the morning, I am going to feed Kona. 7:30 in the morning, I am going to walk Kona. 8 o'clock in the morning, I am going to sit my butt at the computer and start writing. And I am going to write until lunchtime. And then I'm going to take an hour break. And then after that hour break, I'm going to check my emails. And then I'm going to begin writing or editing or whatever it is that I need to do. I cannot do that. I am not a set in stone scheduler. I have to kind of have a list, and I check off that list. I do whatever feels like I can do at the moment. So, most scheduling practices do not work for me, but there are some that do. And I have researched those. I have seen what other people do, and I have adapted what works for me as well. So this and the whole research thing is much the same way. So as an indie author, can you be too involved in social media? Or the opposite, can you not have enough of an internet presence? What is the happy medium for you? And that is the whole thing right there. What is the happy medium for you? It's going to be different for everybody. That's the reason why I said the whole schedule thing. I cannot be on social media constantly. I cannot watch the news constantly. I have to be away from posts. I have to be away from referencing things that are happening in the world while I write, while I do what I need to do. But I also know that in order to gain following or gain some kind of income through YouTube, through Twitch, things of that nature, then I need to be on here for a certain amount of time. Luckily, with productivity streams, it's a happy medium for both. I can be on here working with you guys. I can be writing, editing, whatever it is that I need to be doing while being present on a social media platform. But there are authors out there who have no social media presence whatsoever, and it works for them. So yet again, it has to work for you. You have to figure out what your ideal life is in a way. You have to figure out whether or not you are okay with posting on Instagram, with posting on Facebook, with being here on YouTube, whether it's up here on screen or if you just want to be in the comments. The comments are over here on on my screen, so that's the reason why I'm motioning over here. But so yeah, and I know that is an answer, but it's not an answer. And I used to hate those. I really did. I used to hate when people was like, well, it really depends on you. Because it didn't seem to help me at all, but now I get it. And I hope that you do too, because it really is different for everybody. What works for me probably won't work for you. What works for you probably won't work for me. Some things might. Some things will be, you'll have to kind of tweak it a little bit in order for it to work for you. For me, on social media, I'm comfortable posting to Instagram. Now that I have a scheduler, I can post to Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, all at the same time and not really have to worry about going to each platform and doing that. If I had to go to each platform and post, then I would only be on Instagram and YouTube. That's it. Because those are the two that I am most comfortable with. Since I'm able to multi-stream, I can stream to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am on all three of those platforms because I can multi-stream. If I had to go to each platform and stream at different times in order to be actively streaming 5 days a week like I do, there's no way. It would take up too much time. So you have to figure out your schedule. You have to figure out what you're comfortable with. You have to figure out what you can do and still be productive in your creative, I hate to say it, job, but authorship is job. Needless to say. So yeah. That's my 2 cents. All right, so Restream is not showing me comments. All right, so last one was 11:32. Wow. He's been skipping a lot. I am sorry, you guys. I don't know what is going on. So I am just going to figure out where it stopped and go from there. Okay. So Sky says Hoof GP is one of those I don't watch, but there's another farrier that I do watch. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It goes to research. Nate the Hoof guy. I will have to check him out. Maybe he's a little bit better for me. Mel says, but just chit-chatting helps. Gets the brain awake and moving. Yep. Sky says, how much time do you give yourself to research new things before it becomes procrastination? That's a good question. So researching new things to me is quick. I just don't have the bandwidth to do a lot of research at one time. I usually research something for 30 minutes to an hour, aka my lunch break. And if I still don't understand it or I still feel like I need more information, then I end it for the day or I wait until my next break time and continue the research. If it's something I'm really, really interested in, like a new breed of horse or something of that nature, the difference between dragons and wyverns, then yeah, I could probably get lost in a rabbit hole. But most of the time, whenever I'm researching something, it an hour max is how much I can last. So researching until procrastination, I think, is when you start doing the nitpicky research that you know you're never going to use. You know that it's never going to appear in your book. You know it's never going to appear in your artwork, but yet you're still chasing it and you're still digging deeper. Now, if it is fundamentally needed for you to understand a process, that's great. But again, if you know it's not going to end up in your work, then I think that's the moment when research might be leading into procrastination. Maybe. Another thing is sometimes you just need that nitty-gritty knowledge in order to feel better about writing it. Yeah. Mel says, buddy system. Eva says, procrastination is like lazy. It's not a real thing most of the time. Yeah. Yeah, because I think Eva called me out on this one day because I said I was going to be lazy and then I ended up researching something. I think that was the day that I was researching the 90-day challenge and things of that nature. And Eva was like, that's not lazy. So yeah. And Eva says, for me, I allow myself the freedom to live outside of productivity. Exactly. Eva says, so sometimes my recreation is researching, even if I know what I know. Cat Paw says, I feel you. I did a little bit of filming for a Helpful Hints short, and I haven't even watched the footage back yet. Not growing a channel, just so I can point people towards it instead of explaining. Understand. Dark Project, hello and welcome. Morning all. For me, I dedicate an hour to research, but won't let it interfere with already scheduled writing time. But I do give myself one day a week to just research and explore rabbit holes. That's interesting. I like that. Might need to, try that out one day. Eva says, I've found that using the algorithm as a tool is an independent thing from using social media to socialize as a human person. Yes, anyone can be too involved in social media. There's no such thing as not enough internet presence. Okay. Kepler says, there's no hope. I can do that either, Sam. Okay. Eva says, I do think plenty of indie authors waste time with their internet presence by not doing the research to be efficient with their reach time ratios. Probably, yeah. Hold on. There's a thought that I'm going to stew on for a minute. Sky says, I thrive off schedules and routines, but I also constantly change those schedules and routines because of needs of others in my family. Exactly. You've got to be fluid whenever you have the children's and a husband and friends and a dog. Cat Paw says, indeed, Eva. I've seen quite a few step away recently because too much time gain following and not enough writing. Mel says, I hate that you have to have an outside scheduler just to schedule posts. It's so annoying. I'd post more on Instagram if I could just get their system to schedule properly. Mel also says, rabbit holes can be fun now and then. Had one recently lead me to a fun little writing I'm working on the side. Yes. All right, Restream, you need to wake up, my dear. Let me check Twitch, make sure nobody's done anything there. Okay, so I don't know. I'm still moving on the YouTube screen and on the Twitch screen, so I don't know why Restream is not updating the chat on their end. Maybe if I hit this button. Nope. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thought I might could trick it. Anyway. That didn't work. Hey, Shannon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Made friends with the like button. Thank you. I must head out. Thanks for the hosting, Eva says. I hope you have fun. Have a great rest of your day. I think... Let's see. Do we have any questions in the chat? So, let's see. Shannon says, I'm rarely on social media besides YouTube. Yeah. Gotta protect the bandwidth. So there we go. Okay. YouTube paused on me there for a minute. You gotta do what you gotta do. And you also have to protect your mental and emotional health as well. That should be the main thing. Right? Right. Dark Project, how are things going with you with the 90-day challenge? So I've done the research. I have a plan. I have implemented a little bit of the plan with trying to post shorts every day this month. So that is going fairly well. I missed 2 days already. One, because I thought that I had scheduled a post for one day, but it ended up being the next day, and I posted twice on that day. But then there was a day where I just completely missed it. I think it was day before yesterday, maybe the 19th, that I just completely missed. The 17th was the day that I didn't post anything because I thought that I had scheduled something that day. But I ended up double posting on the 18th. And then I think I missed the 19th posting something. And yesterday's was just silly. I had this idea to make a little Halloween decoration for me because my sister gave me 2 little figures. So I was going to post the short about me creating it, and I didn't set up my camera correctly. So it was only showing like half of the thing that I was making instead of the whole thing. Yeah. So I just posted the end result and kind of made fun of myself. So yeah. But that's how the 90-day challenge is going. I'm going to really buckle down and start it in October, because in October I'm hoping to do vlogs and regular video posting, do 1 video a week on top of posting the vlogs, and then still do shorts at least 4 times a week. So yeah, that's the 90-day plan that I will start at October 1st. But like I said, I've kind of implemented doing shorts every day and, making a plan. Thanks for asking, by the way. Shannon says, maybe I could sell more books if I was on social media more, but I don't know if it's worth my sanity. I don't think it's worth your sanity. So I just finished joining a Facebook group. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, Facebook group. But they have thousands in that group. And a lot of them are readers. Let me talk. And a lot of them are authors. And they did this whole fall into book giveaway. It is a romance group. But I did the giveaway. I had 3 different giveaways. I had 2 signed copies of 2 of my books, all 4 ebooks, and a signed book of their choice. So in order to win, in order to get an entry, they had to follow me on something, whether that was Facebook, Instagram. They got an extra entry if they followed me on YouTube. So instead of just 1, they got 2, because I really want to grow my YouTube channel. I'm really close to 500. So that was successful to me, because in the 3 days, made the post on Friday, the giveaway continued on Saturday, and it closed today. In those 3 days, I have gained, let's see, because I started at, hold on, I've got the correct number. I don't want to tell y'all wrong. 441. So I had 441 subscribers here on YouTube on Friday before I made the post. Today, I am sitting at 456. So that to me is a win, because I usually only gain 1 or 2 subscribers a day since I've started posting shorts every day. That is. So yeah, I think it's good. So if you can be on social media enough maybe to join that type of group, or at least join a giveaway like that, because I know, Shannon, you do a lot of things with Story Origin. So it could be a lot like that, and maybe that'll help. I don't know. Let's see. Mel says, sounds like you need another screen just to have a chat window up. Yeah. Well, that would be awesome, because I could totally use my other screen if I remember that it was there. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. It's fine. We're fine. It's okay. It's Shannon says, so true, RE, protecting mental health. Shannon says, I don't really have the time for social media, so I don't need to make myself do a task I don't enjoy. Exactly. I don't enjoy being on social media. Then don't. Shannon also says, I used to set up a 5-minute alarm to make myself stay on Instagram to catch up with people, but it fell off my task list when I got busy. Yeah. I've done some things in the past with Facebook and I grew quick. Then I had people calling me through Facebook, then received death threats and threats of, holy cow. Yeah, no, just don't. Just don't. Mm-mm. I am so sorry that happened to you. That's crazy. So my husband and I have this saying whenever something like that happens. Not that I don't think I've received death threats or anything like that, and I'm sorry that you have, but whenever we see something bad, we kind of look at each other and go, well, this is why we can't have nice things, or this is why I hate people, or this is why I'm an introvert. So yeah, I totally get it. I would not want to be on social media if that happened to me. I would completely shut that down. Now, on a little thing with that, and Shannon, I know you've done that. But in order to protect your name, make sure that you have your author name on all social media platforms. Whether or not you use them at all doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you take your name and create an account. That way nobody can really steal it and pretend that they are you. Let's see. Cat Paul says, that's terrible, Shannon. And the Dark Project says, I've found some Facebook groups that are good for freebie days to boost visibility, but I haven't tried paid ads yet. Dedicated genre groups can be good for books too. Yes, very much so. I want to thank Rachel for introducing me to that group that did the giveaway this weekend, because that is absolutely awesome. Sorry, distraction. Okay, that's horrible. Yeah. All right. Restream still has yet to update the chat. Oh well, I'm keeping up with y'all. It's fine. I just can't show it up here on screen. That does suck. All right. So I have been at this for almost an hour, and like I say, I am not an expert. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. And what I think, if you want to take anything away from this, is it's okay to try something new. And it's okay to, if that new thing doesn't work for you, tweak it until it does, or try something else. Save your mental health and your emotional health, because that's what's important, is you. So yeah, do what you will with that. Cat Paul says, yes, that's why I'm on all social media, and made a pin post saying holding page. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about the whole holding page pinned post. That is a really good idea. Okay. We will be back again. Hopefully it won't just be me and my awful voice that you get to listen to next Sunday. Sky says, that's why I don't use Restream's chat and look at YouTube instead. It's the only downside to Restream that I absolutely hate at the moment, right? So I'm still, today is the day where Restream either renews or doesn't. And I'm still on the fence on whether I want to renew it. I might go back to Streamlabs because, I don't know. I would really like to go back to StreamYard, but StreamYard doesn't have the extra camera that I enjoy because I get to show y'all Kona because she is the potato that everybody loves. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, thank y'all for joining me, and I will see y'all next Sunday right here for another episode of Breaking the Block at 11 a.m. Eastern. And here in about an hour and a half, over on Rita Selena's channel, you can see me because she's interviewing me. And there are some interesting questions that I don't know the answers to yet. But if y'all want the link, there it is. So yeah, I'll see y'all over there in the chats. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.